Parents of athletes, and I'm there with you, listen up. We now have around 30 million children in competitive youth sports, but with the increase in participation comes the dramatic rise in sports-related injuries. Better athletic development is the brainchild of strength and conditioning coach Kevin Gendron, and he is here now to tell us more about the Sports Injury Prevention Program. Nice to have you with us here, Kevin.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here.
Are you yourself a former athlete?
Yes, I am. Actually, played in high school, a three-sport athlete in high school. I actually went to Southern Connecticut in New Haven, right here, got my master's in exercise science, and went on to get the CSCS, the Certified Strength and Conditioning Specialist, which is the top certification you can get to work with athletes, and started Better Athletic Development in 1999, and we've been running strong ever since.
Well, tell us about your unique training facility.
Well, it's a 7,000 square foot facility located
That's huge.
Yeah, it's very big. Located in Shelton. Half the facility is 55-yard rubberized track. The other half of the facility is made up of Olympic lifting platforms and basically all the latest technological equipment that a professional athlete could use. And I really wanted to model it after a Division I college or a professional team, so that I would draw those athletes into our facility as well.
But this isn't just for athletes.
No, not at all. We actually run some group exercise classes, boot camp classes for adults. So once the athlete gets the success that we're striving for, and mom and dad see that, all of a sudden mom and dad come in and say, you know, I'm not getting the results I was getting at my usual facility. What can you guys do for me? Can you give me the same results that I'm getting that my son is getting or my daughter's getting?
Well, tell us about your training that you offer there. Is it different than your traditional training?
Yes, it is. We really focus on the athlete and building athleticism. That's really what it's about. In today's society, we focus an awful lot on early specialization. And what I mean by that is we've got t-ball and kids starting soccer and hockey at such a young age that we never really fully develop them as athletes. So we really want to target balance and movement science at a young age so that as they get older, they can exploit those skills better because they're more conditioned.
Absolutely, and as well as preventing injuries.
Oh, definitely, and that's a really big proponent. I did some research on injuries of late, especially concussions and things like that, ACL injuries in female athletes. And a lot of it comes down to conditioning. It really does. And athletes want to work with a certified professional with some education and some experience to make sure that they're doing things properly, they're doing things correctly.
You brought a couple of your athletes with you here.
Yes,
so
I
we
did.
want to show everybody exactly what we're talking about, some of these conditioning exercises. So let's step back.
Absolutely.
And let's get them started.
Okay. Well, traditionally, athletes have always sat on the ground and stretched, or they showed up at the field and started throwing the ball. And that's old school. Now what we've done is we've created dynamic warm-up. And what that means is raising the temperature of the body, preparing the athlete for play, because traditional stretching just doesn't work. And they've actually showed that it can reduce speed and power by as much as 8%. And really, that's something we don't want to reduce prior to going into a game. We want to be as fast as possible and as powerful as possible, so we don't want to reduce that.
All right, so let's take a look at your first one.
Here's our dynamic warm-up that we do with some of our athletes.
Okay.
The first one would be high knees. Go ahead.
And what does this do?
And we're really working on building flexibility in the hips, and knee drive, and starting to work on coordination as well, where you get the arm and leg action
Can
going.
we see that again?
Yeah, sure. Can we do high knees again?
So a few minutes of this or a minute of this?
What we do is we'll do a 10 to 15-yard span, and we usually change it up. So we'll have them do a variety of different exercises. Try drum major.
Drum major?
Oh, yeah. So it looks like they're beating a drum.
And
what that's doing, that's starting to loosen the hips up a little bit, which is really important for sports. And what I found in evaluating a lot of athletes, what we've discovered is the hips tend to be really tight. So that's something that we really want to loosen up, because that's the precursor to injury if you can't move properly or get out of a position effectively.
Can we see it again?
Absolutely. Drum major
Show
again.
everybody exactly how that works. So you're basically skipping and...
It's a skip with an internal or external rotation of the hip.
All right. What else do you have for us?
Let's do some walking lunges with a twist. Most aspects of sport, regardless of the sport we play, all involve lunging and some form of trunk rotation. So we've combined the two at a lower level of intensity, obviously, than what they would do on the field, to kind of loosen up those muscle groups which they're going to need later on.
And these are to prevent what kind of injuries here?
I'll say everything from lower back injuries, upper shoulder injuries, anything that would involve the spine, or anything that would involve the knee or hamstring and hips.
Can we have them cross again
Definitely,
with the same
yeah.
way?
Can you do that again, guys?
So this isn't too difficult, though. You just have to
Not
go
at all.
slowly.
And what we do is we start with a good warm-up, so it could be jumping jacks, jumping rope, things like that to get the temperature going.
I wish I had my sneaks on so I could do it with them. Sorry, guys. I have my heels today.
That's fine.
And let's show another demonstration.
Sure. Let's have you guys spread out and do flying eagles.
Flying eagles.
So, yeah, aside from doing things on the floor, I mean, for a 10 and 15-yard span, we'll do some stationary things as well. So they're going to lie down with their arms out to the side, and we're going to have them stretch the hamstring, and then they're going to stretch the hips again. So go ahead and do that.
Now, we can do this at home as well.
Absolutely. And I highly recommend that parents, or if you're at home doing a videotape, that you do a good, proper warm-up prior to your tape or activity. And that really should be not static stretching, but something dynamic with a lot of movement.
Oh, that's great. Just keep doing that, and each week this fall we'll be featuring topics for parents of athletes like this one. Be sure to check out Better Athletic Development with Coach Kevin. Kevin, Kelly, Max, and Devin, thank you all for being here with us. This has been great.
Thank you.
We appreciate it.
Hey, it's been a pleasure.
Thank you. And coming up next, we'll tell you how Jazz for Life is honoring the legendary Dave Brubeck when Connecticut Style returns.